So welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about an approach to solving problem with the nested if-else condition. The approach is the key here, and a lot of people get confused and start thinking in too many different directions, try to implement the whole thing at get-go. Some of the students go through really frustrating time, and it can be quite confusing if you do not follow the proper approach. So I'm going to take up a problem here. This problem can be done, obviously, with a bunch of if conditions. It can also be done with a nested if-else conditions. And it can also be done with what's called if-elif that we will talk in the future videos. So here I'm going to present you an approach to solve this problem using a nested if-else. So the problem is simple. Write a program to ask the user to enter yearly salary. So the user is going to type the yearly salary. And you need to calculate the tax based on the following salary range. So if the salary is over 100,000, the tax is at 20%. If the salary is between 80,000 to 100,000, no space here, it is 15,000. If the salary is 50,000 to 79,999, is 10%. If the salary is 30 to 49,999, 5%. If the salary is less than 30,000, tax rate is 0%. So how do we solve this problem? So write the steps in plain English to solve the problem. And as we talked earlier, the plan should include the steps and the memory cells. Obviously, there are only two memory cells here. One is the yearly salary that we are going to collect from the user, and the other one is the tax that we're going to calculate based on the following criteria here. So do not try to handle all of this at once. So what I've done is I have broken this into simple layers, right? So this is the topmost layer. So I'm going to write an if condition here. So in plain English, the first step is collect the yearly salary for the user. And simple thing, check if the salary is equal or over to 100,000, which is layer 1 that I have put in over here. Calculate the tax at 20% that it says. Else, so just write this much. Approach this one layer at a time, not all the layer at once. So once you have this jotted down, that means once you have taken care of that layer, now think of the next layer. The next layer should go under else. Why? Because in this layer, you're taking care of anything over 100,000. The rest of all other layers should be under else. Again, this layer, the first layer handles anything over 100,000. All other layers must be part of the else. So now that we have handled the layer 1, let's bring in the layer 2. Obviously, as I said, the layer 2 should be part of the else over here. So I have typed up the code over here. Now I'm going to put the layer 2 over here. You see? So now you see that layer 2. What does our layer 2 handles? Between 80,000 to 100,000. So if the user types the salary like 90,000, obviously it is not going to go over here, but it will come over here. Why? The second layer checks to see if the salary is between 80,000 to 100,000. So if the user types 90,000, that should fall under this range over here, and that calculates a tax at 15%. So we're taking care of that layer. Now we're taking care of this. Now 3 more layers remain. So the remaining layers should be under this else here. So the top 2 layers, you're taking care of over 100,000. You're taking care of anything between 80 and 100,000. The remaining 3 layers should be part of that else. So that's what the layer 3. Layer 3 takes care of 50,000. Layer 3 handles the range of 50,000 to 79,999. And that's what I have coded over here. And I come over here. So put that over here. So again, the computer will reach over here only if the layer 1, the condition 1 is false, and the condition And what is the condition 2? Condition 2 is false. Then it comes to this third condition over here. So instead of calling these layers, let's call it condition 1. Maybe that's probably better terminology. So same thing over here, condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, and this would be condition 4. And the last one would be condition 5. So now we have handled three conditions. Now what remains is the fourth condition. Obviously, the fourth condition should go under else. So that would be my fourth condition. And I'm going to bring the fourth and fifth here together. So now, so this is how you build these things one condition at a time. So first write the topmost condition. You can even test this program. And then in the topmost condition, you're only thinking about, okay, let me handle first anything over 100,000. And then once you're done writing the code for that, then you ask yourself, okay, what else remains? There are anything below 100,000 now remains to be implemented. So there are 4 possibilities below 100,000. One is 80 to 100,000. So let me first handle condition 2, which checks the range of 80 to 100,000. Go ahead and code for that. Sorry, over here. That is condition 2. And then once you once you write the code for condition 2, now ask yourself, what else remains? Condition 3. And what does the condition 3 do? It handles anything between 50 to 79,000, right? So go ahead and put that condition 3 under else. Now, what else remains? 30 to 49,000. Put that as condition 4. I brought it as layer 4, condition 4. Similarly here, condition 5. So this way, you construct this code in one condition at a time, or simple term, one layer at a time. So that way you're not trying to do too many things at once. A lot of people get confused because you're trying to do too many things at one time. And again, if you have been coding this for a few years, 3-4 years, it becomes your second nature. You don't need to do all of this, but especially if you're a beginner programmer, it's very important you follow this approach. And once you calculate the tax at the very bottom, display the yearly salary, tax, net salary, calculate the next salary. So this is the approach. And in the next example, next video, we're going to take a look at the code. We're going to convert this into a Python programming language. Remember what I said, when you are given a problem, try to write it in a plain English. And this is my plain English. I've been using the term plain English, but in a technical term for this is pseudocode. Pseudo means it's not a code, but it's like a code. Okay. So once you write the pseudocode and then translate each one of those instructions from the pseudocode into a Python language like this. So that we're going to cover in the next video. Thank you.